Hello, Junior Church. We want to talk to you today about a man called Columba. And he became a saint, but he wasn't a saint at first. He was a prince. And he lived a very long time ago. He was born in the year 521. When it wasn't like the Middle Ages where they had big castles made of stone. They had forts with huge ditches and made of earth and great wooden fences with spiky tops. Anyway, that was Columba. He was born in Ireland. And as I said, he was a prince, but he was also in the church. And he could read and write. And somebody lent him a book of Psalms. "Oh," said Columba, "that's good." And he copied it out. And when the owner of this book heard that Columba had copied it out, he said, "You can't do that. It's mine. If you copy it, then the copy belongs to me too. You've got to give me them both." And Columba said, "Shan't." And the other man said, "Oh, yes, you will." And Columba said, "Shan't," again. And there was a big, big row. And eventually they had a battle about it. And in this battle, 3,000 people were killed. Oh, it was mayhem. And when the king heard about it, he said, "I have to deal with this. You can't go and have battles in my kingdom with thousands of people killed. Columba, I'm going to arrest you." So Columba said, "I've got to get out of here." And he did. And he took 12 friends and he got in a boat called a curragh. And this is a boat made of leather. And they got in the boat and they rowed across the sea to Scotland. And they arrived in Scotland and they didn't know where to go at first. But a local chief said, "You can go over there onto that island." So they went and they settled on a little island called Iona. And Columba set up there. Now, Columba was a big, strong man, and he had a huge voice. He could stand on a hill, and he could say to somebody on the next hill, "Come over for some tea," except it wasn't tea, because tea hadn't been discovered yet. And he couldn't say lemonade, because lemons hadn't been discovered either. So what do you think he did invite them for? Maybe porridge. Anyway, he became very well known because he wasn't just a monk, a person in the church. He was something else as well. He was a prince, and he had a reputation because he could fight battles. So they all took him jolly seriously. And he told them about being a Christian and about following Jesus. Oh, they got quite interested in that. And they regarded him as such a holy person that he could protect them in battle. And then they got in touch and they said, "We've got this awful monster in Loch Ness." So Columba went up there to Loch Ness and he found this monster and he had a word with him. And he said, "Monster, you're going to be all right, but you've got to go and live in the deep, a very, very long way down, because Loch Ness is hundreds and hundreds of feet deep." So he said, "Monster, You've got to go down to the bottom of Loch Ness and live there and leave the human people in peace. So the monster went, and it's been living in the deep for 1,500 years. Anyway, Columba did lots of other things too. He wrote a lot of books, about 300, and he built up a community around him and his 12 friends on the island of Iona, and people came there. People came there from all over Britain and even beyond, and they learned about being a Christian. And when they learned, they went off, and they were Christian in their own places, and they taught other people how to be Christians too. So Columba was a very important person, a person who was really holy and had special abilities, so he could see the present and the future at the same time, and he could tell people about what would happen depending on how they behaved. And he told them about Jesus, and they took him seriously. So even in those dark, difficult times, which we call the Dark Ages, Columba became a sort of beacon of light, and one of the people who was most important in bringing Christianity to our own country.